Hello, I am coming to you today to teach you how to teach a toddler to tie shoes. Of course, some children don't ever get acclimated to tying shoes or even become interested until the ages between 6 and 8. And it differs from race to origin to background to culture and boy to girl. Okay, first we want to identify the shoe. Of course, the front of the shoe, the back of the shoe, the side of the shoe. The side of the shoe is nice and straight, and the inside of the shoe is going to have a curve like your foot has a curve. And you always want to know left from right. So it's very important to teach your children early on the difference between right and left, or left and right. And their dominant hand is their hand that they always use the most. Okay, here we go. We're starting with the shoe strings. You take the very ends. You definitely want to crisscross them and make an X, and then do the basic knot. And you definitely want to congratulate them at every stage. And the key to perfecting tying the shoe is practice over and over. The bows may be a little loose, they may be too tight. It's definitely good to reinforce and brag on them when they make a good effort. One way that I've seen that is very common, that one of my 3 daughters tried, which was definitely harder to me, she done the bunny ear, where you take the 2 bunny ears and you made them, leaving your knot kind of loose, and you want to get it over and under and leave it in the bunny hole. Whatever you have to do to get that in their little heads. And again, it is practice over and over until they get it right. And again, sometimes it'll be a little loose, sometimes it may be too tight. And if it's not just so or so perfect, just start over. You can actually do it together. Do it side by side, across from each other. But side by side's usually less confusing. Again, there is another method. We'll start over. I did watch a young lady do, and she had tried the same concept of making the basic knot. And this one, you just make a bow around, use your finger as a loophole, and just push it through. That's one way. And again, we did it. And you may have to let them out. You can adjust the bows and the tails to get it just so, and you can get it tighter. With some kids, when they don't know how, and when I get in a hurry, if I can't really tie those shoes at that moment, I will just tuck them inside the shoe, which is really not a good thing to do, because if those laces get loose, it definitely poses a fall hazard. Okay, and then another way that you could do, and YouTube has tons of videos to show you and give you assistance. These little things here are called eyelets, and you notice this is how we interlace all these little strings in and out, in and out, in and out, and they go across the middle of the shoe, and this part is called the tongue, and it's just something that is there to provide support for the laces, support for the top of your foot. Some kids have done it this way. They take each end of the string. Some of them have plastic, some of them have steel or brass. It all depends on the designer. And you put them in the little eyelet holes, just a little, not a lot. And then when you get that there, you want to, oops, it fell out, and you will have little mistakes and hiccups, so you just start over. And it's okay if you make mistakes. If your toddler or child or nephew, niece sees that you make mistakes, they know it's okay. So basically you just tie these bows in a knot, and if it makes you feel better, do it again. This is a double knot. When they get out there playing, they're going to also forget. So there you have the two tails, the two bows, and a double knot. Kids find out that this saves them time, energy, and effort. They don't even have to fool with doing the tie anymore. Moms and dads, it is very important to take the time with your children. Not just take the easy way out using Velcro all the time. Velcro does have its good days and bad days, but you definitely want to go to the basic shoestring. Even the Navy tie their shoes. Men and women tie their shoes in the service. This is something that all people should practice in. This is definitely a challenging practice and sometimes can become intimidating to children. So it's very important to give lots of encouragement, lots of practice from beginning to end, and definitely give them positive reinforcement. Let them know that everybody's not perfect, and again, it does take practice to perfect this. Sometimes adults need a refresher course on it too, because some don't, not mentioning any names, some do not tie those shoes properly. Again, it is very important to do this practicing, definitely on the weekends. You definitely want to try it on sweaters. You could try it on little games and assistive devices. In the Learning Center of the library, they have good resources. And also, your retail stores like Target and Walmart and some places like Kmart or Myers, they have the teaching tools where you can zip or tie or button. But it's very important for children, especially preschool age, to perfect this habit. This is a milestone that is achieved at any age by any sex of the child, male or female. You definitely have to work with your children. It is a challenge for working parents because they don't always have the time. But even grandparents, aunts and uncles can get a little creative. They can paint the shoestring red over blue. They can get designs. They can get right or left. There's all kinds of fun ways to learn and do things. You can even make a little song about it. You can make funny noises. And again, all children learn at different levels and their interest levels change. So, thank you for your time. And this has been a teaching tool for teaching your toddler how to tie a shoe. And again, my favorite is just the simple, tied in a simple knot, one loop around and through. And you can adjust these. Of course, it's kind of loose, but you never want your shoe to be too tight. You always want to make sure you can put a little finger or two in there just to make sure it's not too tight, because you don't want to cut off circulation. And definitely make sure these loose ends or the tails are short enough where it doesn't cause a trip or a fall. And if it does make you more comfortable, you can do the double knot, which is not as attractive as a single knot. But it will ensure that you don't have to tie that shoe again for the second, third, fourth, or even fifth time that day. Shoes are very stylish. Some people even tie them under the tongue and hide the bow. But whatever works for you, do it at your child's pace. Be consistent. Teach at their pace. Show interest. Give them positive reinforcement. You can't do that enough with kids. And then even let them teach you. Reverse roles. Sometimes when teaching a toddler, it is good to reverse roles. All right, and that has been my spiel on teaching a toddler to tie a shoe. Thank you for your time.